Well, hello. I'm Ryan Moss, CEO of Little Giant Ladder Systems and also the president of the American Ladder Institute. I'm coming to you today from the Howling Studio, one of 3 studios we have here in the Little Giant facility in Springville, Utah, in the United States. I wish I could be with you all today, and I'm incredibly grateful for the invitation that I received from the Ladder Association to be able to come over and to be with you in person. But my schedule does not allow me to be there today with you, and so I wanted to take a few minutes and still to be able to spend a little time with you virtually. I really am honored and really do wish I could have been with you today. I understand that it's the Ladder Association's 75th anniversary this year, and I must say congratulations. I think that's fantastic, and I know you've done a lot of great work over the last 75 years and have many more years to go of doing incredible things. It just so happens that this year is the 75th anniversary of the American Ladder Institute. We share that this same year, 75 years ago, as a starting point for both organizations to have manufacturers and suppliers come together and create great organizations that are really helping perpetuate ladders and the care and use of those products. If you don't know what the American Ladder Institute is, it is an organization much like yours. It's made up of 17 different members, a few suppliers in there, but mostly member companies that are manufacturers. And the American Ladder Institute really prides itself in helping grow and develop the standards for ladder use and primarily the manufacture and testing of ladders. And that is really its primary function. But beyond that, helping with education and the selection, care, and use, safe use of ladders is one of our big focuses. Every day in America, there are 2,000 ladder accidents. And it's tragic when you think about how many that is. Of those 2,000, 100 of those people that are injured in a ladder accident are permanently disabled. Heartbreaking. And of that 2,000, there's also, unfortunately, a person that passes each day, dies because of a ladder accident. We view those numbers as way too high. Now, many of those accidents, in fact most, aren't by those who use the ladder professionally every day on their job site. A lot of them are consumers or homeowners or DIYers, people that use the products themselves. And so we have, even with the safety organizations that we have and guidance from employees to employees through OSHA and other safety organizations, we still have a lot of work to do because there are accidents on job sites, of course, as you well know, but also a lot of education and training to do with consumers and those folks that are using their ladders at home. One of the things that we have been focusing on, we just finished our fall meeting this past week, and one of the things that we focused on this fall meeting was what other things we could do. We went through, again, a SWOT analysis as we do every fall, and looked at our strengths and opportunities and weaknesses and threats, and really analyzed what could we do as an organization to continue to make a difference. Now, of course, gathering as much information as possible on accidents and on why ladder accidents are happening. We know, as you do, that typically in a ladder accident, and I would say that 99.9% of the time it's not the ladder's fault. The ladders are designed and built and tested to 4-time safety rating, and so typically there is human error, and so we look for ways to protect the user from himself or herself. Often it's overreaching or using the wrong ladder for a job. And so one of the things that we talked about this past fall meeting that we just concluded was, is there more information that we can bring together as an industry? Now we looked at what data that we have, and one of the challenges is we have a bunch of privately owned companies who don't readily want to share their data. They don't readily want to talk about the financial aspects or lawsuits or injuries, and so it's a challenge when you have an organization that's made up of a bunch of competitors to get a lot of information out. But we talked about furthering what we do have and finding ways that we can collect that data, and then taking that data and making sure it's fed into the standards committees so that we make sure that the standards that we're producing for ladders and for ladder manufacturers are the very best that can be to help design and produce products that help prevent users from getting hurt. Now we know we're not going to be able to do it all ourselves. It is going to take that education, that awareness. Awareness is a big part of what the ALI does. I know you've all participated, or many of you have participated in something that we started now almost 6 years ago here in National Ladder Safety Month. It's the month of March where we have massive campaigns across the country bringing awareness to the safe selection, care, and use of ladders, bringing awareness to incidents, bringing awareness to the challenges that are out there in the world with using ladders. Far too often we have ladders be just a part of our everyday life, and we forget that they're life-saving equipment. We often use them too much as just a utility tool. If we think about the ladders from years ago, maybe those from an Anasazi ruin, ladders are one of the first tools ever invented. The category is thousands of years old. Honestly, they don't even look that much different than they did years ago. The technology has changed some, but it's rungs and rails, and we're not using rawhide to tie it together anymore. It's rivets or welds, but the ladder itself hasn't changed a lot, and so it becomes commonplace, and consequently too many are using these as just utility tools instead of life-saving devices. And we need to change the mindset of us as manufacturers and change the mindset of the consumer and user that these are life-saving devices and that they should be treated with care and respect so that we make sure that people get home safely at night. Part of that campaign that we have in the month of March, and I know that we've seen in our statistics from around the world that many of you and other parts of the world are participating in that, because we're seeing Google searches go up and posts during that month of March around National Ladder Safety Month. And so thank you to all of you that have participated, and we'd be happy to supply some more information. We would hope that maybe one day we could do this as a global event so that it wasn't, a national thing, but perhaps our organizations together reaching out to the rest around the world could create a global awareness of a ladder safety month, and have all of us collectively working together to get the message out. As we look at Google traffic and as we look at site visits, and of course we see these huge spikes in March and around other campaigns, we'd like to see those spikes year-round. We'd like to see that awareness happening year-round, and that's something that I think that the ALI and the Ladder Association could do together, could work together on this global awareness month that could really make a difference in the lives of people, and it could make a difference in purchases that are made, on what types of ladders, and what could be done to really change ladders as we know that. There's another big part of what we do as an organization is really try to help keep the face of the industry one that is on the forefront of looking for new technology, new ways to educate, new ways to be able to share messages. Often here at Little Giant, we do this right out of our studios. I mentioned we have 3 studios here at Little Giant where we do a lot of ladder safety training, product demonstration, awareness. That's something that all of us can do together. But as we think about what opportunities that there might be outside of a National Ladder Safety Month and our other campaigns, we look and see, what could we do as an organization in collaboration with your association? What is possible? We think that there is so much opportunity to learn from each other. The ALI learn from the Ladder Association and vice versa. How could we come together, share best practices, things that your organization's done that could teach us ways that we could take a look at things perhaps differently, and maybe we could share a thing or two that might be new to you that would allow you to look at things perhaps in a different way. The ladder industry in the U.S. is about $1 billion industry, and so there's a lot of products sold every year. And that's one where perhaps for far too long we've been caught up in old ways. We mentioned, the ladder's been around longer than the wheel. Maybe we as ladder companies haven't looked at ways to improve the safety and the technology enough. I know at Little Giant we always strive to do that, but I think that's something that we could do as organizations where we worked together to look to new ways to change the industry. I mentioned that part of what we do is looking at that what's facing forward as an industry. And ladders in the U.S. have gotten a bad rap. They're getting a bad name. There's a program called Ladders Last. And this program is brought forth by major construction companies who have initiatives now to use any other tool ahead of a ladder. Now, if they absolutely have to have a ladder, there's a process where they check it out, do the job, and bring it back. But they're looking at scissor lifts and man lifts, cherry pickers, all other kinds of products in place of ladders. And we understand why. It's because they want to reduce injuries, and they know that injuries are happening on ladders. But if we as an industry here in the US and in Europe, UK, wherever you may be, if we start to look at things and come back, get in front of these types of initiatives and find ways that we can create new technologies and develop products that make them inherently safer, we can curtail these types of movements such as Ladders Last that will impact our industries. And here's the thing, Ladders Last isn't the end-all solution, because many of these companies that have gone to a Ladders Last program have had increased injuries from people standing on a 55-gallon barrel or tipping a pallet up next to a wall and climbing that. So it's not an end-all answer. It's really upon us as manufacturers, as leaders in this ladder community, to really provide solutions that will help keep people safe. And I know that's something that we could do together. I hope that in the future we have an opportunity to partner and do something together that it would allow us to really make a difference in this world. You know, we see with National Ladder Safety Month, we've had the Bricklayers Association and the Window Cleaning Association and the Chimney Sweep Association and other groups come together and help support what we're doing. But we think it could be much bigger than that insurance companies should be getting behind what we're doing, since they're the ones that are insuring these accidents. And other leaders, you know, from major general contractors or subcontractors to get behind these kind of movements to help keep their employees and subcontractors safe. There really is a lot of opportunity in this space. I think because it is such an old category that many don't believe that there's a lot left that can be done. And we believe that we've just started scratching the surface on the kind of change that can be made in this industry and the things that can be done to bring awareness and to look at new technologies and to really make a difference. Again, I am so grateful for the invitation that I received from you to be with you, and I wish that could have been the case. But I love the fact that our mission and your mission are so closely aligned. And when we see the participation that's happened on a global stage during National Ladder Safety Month, it gives us hope and courage that we could do something even bigger together. And I commend each of you for all that you've done, for the work that you do in standards, in education, in certifications, in all that you do in your organization to make your organization what it is today after 75 years of hard work and dedication to an organization that truly is making a difference. Congratulations on your 75th anniversary and to a great conference of which I know you're a part of, and that great things will come from that. Again, I hope that we can come together in person at some point, and thank you so much for extending the invitation and for the great work you do. Have a great conference. Thank you.